Welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those that need instant gratification. And the show's Twitter feed is at SkimPod, SKIMPOD.
Stays Crunchy.
For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again being spelled with a K.
Crunchy.
Hey, feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311.
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
We're available by Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, anywhere fine podcasts are available. And of course, it's the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share wherever possible, including on YouTube, where we can now be found at Stays Crunchy. And over on Twitch, we're still Stays Crunchy and Milk. Our personal Twitters are
Tatum216,
Lunchbox2099,
The Real ODP.
and I'm your host, the Internet's Tayrell713.
Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy.
so it doesn't burn my tongue while I'm podcasting.
All right, people. If you listen to this, you know how my feelings on all sorts of things, racial and otherwise. But I don't know how to feel right now, and that's just right now, about Kyrie being suspended for not saying, I guess, clear enough that, no, I am not an anti-Semite. I don't know if that's something one should be suspended from work from. Now, this is a private entity and so forth and so on, so I don't know the rules regarding employment situations like this. Contractual stuff, there's probably something contractual about the, behavior or whatever, however you're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, the net statement said that they suspended him for conduct detrimental to the team.
Yeah. So I can understand that to a certain degree. But also I don't like the idea of jobs coming up on us saying, I need you to say this and this exactly. You feel me? Does that make sense?
I agree, and I hate the fact that I had this conversation once already this evening, but the thing about this was, like, he didn't really say anything. He just kind of put it out, and I'm not saying this is my opinion.
Yeah.
To rewind, I don't even know what the fuck he shared. Like, I didn't look it up. I don't know what it is. All I know is it's some film that apparently you can stream off Amazon.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what it is.
Another thing, why are we not lighting up Amazon for, I guess, putting that kind of stuff out there? If you find it on YouTube, YouTube kind of everywhere, but you're saying it's an Amazon deal, which means Amazon should be able to pull some shit like that. If it's so problematic.
Yeah, if I'm correct, the link he tweeted out for the film was a link to stream it off Amazon.
Yeah.
Was it to stream it off Amazon or just Amazon catch-all? Because Amazon, you could buy pretty much any movie off and watch it.
I would have to look that up. All I know is that it was a link to Amazon.
Yeah, I just
We'd have
kind
to
of feel
research
like with all this stuff, it's kind of like when people say, and I'm not saying Kyrie, I'm not going to say anybody else's name. I just kind of feel like when people are saying like wild shit about all these other things, but when it comes to anti-Semitism, it's like career altering. So I don't understand where the line is. Like he's been like saying wild stuff and some things positive, some things negative for years now.
Yeah.
And he recommended a film. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm ignorant in this situation because I don't know about the movie at all. But if is it a whole movie that's directly about just being anti-Jewish? I don't know. So I guess that's where I should just be quiet at. But
the primarily stems from social media posts in which Irving promoted the film Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. So let's do a quick search of that movie.
Yeah, that's why it's like it's hard for me to like have an opinion one way or the other because, like I said, I saw like the interview that went south a couple days ago with when the reporter was trying to ask him about the link and all that, and Kyrie had a blow up on the media platform. Like, he didn't want to answer the questions, and he got a little like combative and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that was the first I had seen it, because I don't follow Kyrie on anything. I it's not like I scrub everyone's social media or nothing. So like, I didn't know anything about it, and even if I had seen it, I still wouldn't have known anything about it because I don't even know what it is. Yeah. So the first thing, like I said, the first thing I saw was that media outlet, and I went, "Man, this seems like a lot." And then next thing I know, it's like TNT's crew's like talking about stuff like this, and this in particular, but it's like all over ESPN and everywhere, and then everyone that I follow on Twitter that it's apparently Jewish, because I don't know people who they are when I follow them in all cases, but like apparently the people I follow that happen to be Jewish have been tweeting about it, and I just assumed that because it doesn't necessarily involve me that, it's not like I'm working for the Nets or I know Kyrie or anything like that. Like, I'm just watching it happen because it's, what am I supposed to do about it necessarily, Yeah,
it's not in my purview because, like, my life has changed so much as far as, like, sports and entertainment, period. Like, everybody has, for the most part, their own entertainment feed. Like, it's to the point where when I watch stuff I want to watch. So, I mean, it used to be, even a few years ago when you pretty much had to watch things that other people wanted you to do. And like, hey, your feed is like this, your news is like this. But none of my news has anything to do with the Brooklyn Nets or anti-Semitism at all. Like, I'm just to the point where it's like today I watched Legends of, I forgot the name of the show, but like an old Comedy Central show about kids playing basketball. That was a cartoon. Like, yeah, I can't be dealing with all this stuff. Like, somebody who used to be my favorite rapper is in the news every second. It's like, I don't want to entertain that. I don't want to hear about it. It's none of that stuff. If it's not like positive, then it's not something I really like cloud up my mind with. Like, I just got a text from my partner, like, y'all gonna talk about it on the show? I was like, we don't talk about Ye. I don't talk about Ye or Ree at all.
And like, that's where sometimes the trouble comes in, is then it's like, if you sit on the sidelines and you keep your opinion yourself, or even if you don't have an opinion, if you don't do or say what like a large group of people want you to say or feel or whatever, then it's like, oh, you're not an ally, or you must believe what they believe because you're not saying that you don't believe what they believe, or whatever.
I don't agree with that in the least. I do feel like motherfuckers got to shit or get off the pot in this world. That's just what it is. And like I said, I started this conversation, and I will reiterate right now, I don't fuck with anti-Semitism. And I can say that shit outright because I know where that shit actually arrives from. And anti-Semitism arrives from anti-blackness, arrives from a lot of things in this country has tried to build itself upon. This from the Anti-Defamation League. Hold on. I'm a cook. And I'm going to let you cook. This is from the Anti-Defamation League as to why this film is so controversial. And I'm just going to get a little bit of that. And it says the 2018 film Hebrews to Negroes is based on director Ronald Dalton Jr.'s books series of the same name. It is a 3+ hour effort to prove the Black Hebrew Israelites belief that certain people of color, including Black Americans, are the true descendants of the biblical Israelites. The film promotes beliefs commonly found among anti-Semitic and extremist factions of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement, including claims that modern Jews are imposters who stole the religious heritage of Black people and have engaged in a cover-up to prevent Black people from knowing their true identity. While much of the film deals with historical and genetic arguments about various racial and ethnic groups, it also includes extensive anti-Semitism, including claims of a global Jewish conspiracy to oppress and defraud Black people, allegations that Jews are in part responsible for the transatlantic slave trade, and the claim that Jews falsified the history of the Holocaust in order to conceal their nature and protect their status and power. It goes on from there. That shit right there, you're not going to tell me all of a sudden, or you're not going to feed to me the idea or the notion that the Holocaust didn't happen. One, I'm a person who considers himself a historian. I actually went to school for history, so I don't bullshit. No, I didn't graduate, but I'm telling you that's what I did. And so I know the Holocaust happened. There's mounds of evidence to prove it. So if your movie is just saying that shit didn't go down like that because I'm black and I want to be the Israelite, then buddy, I can't fuck with you. And anybody who denies the existence of the Holocaust, yeah, anybody who say the earth is fucking flat, I already was looking at you kind of crooked, my guy. And then you sprinkle on top of that, you're trying to tell me the Holocaust didn't happen. Then buddy, I can see why everybody's mad at you now. Because you're over here promoting some bullshit. And you're big enough in the realm of the world that you saying that shit carries weight. Because lots of other people will see that shit. And it might have meaning to them. So I get that. I can understand fully where that comes from. As for me saying shit or get off the pot, I don't. Especially in the world as it is right now. I guess we have no real say because we are nobody when it comes down to it. We have no power or anything. But I don't like just not do it or saying anything in regards to fighting for people. Like I said, I am black in America, so already that's a daily fight. I have children in this country, so I'm always fighting for that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like the things that come with being who you are. And I'm not trying like that. I really wasn't trying to delve that deep. I was just more wondering, is it fucked up or not to suspend this dude? And I guess I now arrive solidly in the, you kind of got to have somebody say like, oh yeah, that shit was kind of whack. And as to why, I get that now. And like I said, that's just where I was trying to arrive at. And go off, King. I'm sorry.
I just feel like, at the end of the day, like, it's his. I don't know. I just kind of, I don't feel like he should have been suspended for it. I just don't. Like, it's so much stuff that people say and rattle off throughout this world. And yes, he might be. It's race in this country is so messed up, and it just feels like people. From the beginning of the time, are picking and choosing sides, what side of history when they want to talk about. Like, as far as being a black person, they want to erase what was done to us, but everything else is up for talk and up for like being recognized. And this is wrong, and this is wrong. When things that were done to us are being pushed under the rug.
Okay, agree.
I just feel like. When I just don't understand why at this point that's still happening.
Yeah.
Like as a black person, like it seems like we're always told how we're the most homophobic, or like I didn't know any Jewish people until I was deep into my 20s. Not deep into my 20s. But it's like I've never had any kind of hate like that in my heart, but we're always told how like we're the worst ones, or told how to think or how to feel about other races. When at the end of the day, most black people don't even care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The Westboro Baptist Church ain't black. I don't know. It just feels like what he said or some of those thoughts. I'm not going to say they're wrong. I'm just going to say they're incorrect. Those are his thoughts. I'm not. And you guys know me. I hate calling people wrong. I hate calling people bad people. I don't like labeling people because their thoughts aren't the same as mine. If I labeled everybody who thoughts weren't the same as mine, then I wouldn't have any friends. I wouldn't have anybody to talk to because T don't like fruit in his pie. That's like one of my best friends. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I love apple pie. Don't be that word.
Okay, peach cobbler. You could go for a stone fruit, but for some of the other things, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like. I don't know. It's
no, but you do know. It kind of sometimes escapes your tongue. It's so much other shit on the plate. Why are we focusing on in these two instances, Kanye and Kyrie? Why are you looking at these two black men in particular? Because there are tons of anti-Semites, neo-Nazi groups, white supremacist groups, and so forth and so on that be doing this. And I think it is because people think they have a wider reach, and they worry that reach will have people. We'll end up making it kind of like a gathering storm of people that start to be like, the Holocaust ain't real, and so forth and so on, you know?
Well, don't, like, when you say wider reach, like, the majority of the world knows who Kanye West is. The majority of the world knows who Kyrie Irving is.
Yeah.
I didn't know who the fuck that dude, like, remember the dude who got punched a couple years ago? I don't even remember his name. I never knew who the fuck that dude was before he got punched. And I certainly didn't even think of him after he got punched until this conversation right now, outside of Seth Macy's pin.
Yeah.
But I know who Kanye West is. I've known who Kanye West is for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. I've known who Kyrie Irving is for like 12 years now. You know, so it's like when they say something, I'm more apt to listen to them because I know who they are. I don't go searching out neo-Nazi groups and shit to find out who their leaders are and shit like that. I just fucking listen to College Dropout, you know? I don't mean today, but like,
for sure.
You know, it's like, or like, I cried over Kyrie Irving making a 3, you know? Yeah. So it's like, I can understand why, like, when they talk, people, the reach goes out further because people know who they are.
Yeah. It ends up being that and they start making mainstream ideals that we have always thought of as out there and outlandish claims. You know what I'm saying? To say the Holocaust didn't happen is an outlandish claim that we've always said that's an outlandish claim. No, we don't believe that. We know better. But then all of a sudden you have people like this who are in the mainstream, in the regular, you know, zeitgeist, saying things that lean toward the Holocaust didn't happen and George Floyd was on fentanyl, and that cop's knee wasn't on his neck, because that's the dumb shit that Kanye West said, and that's the dumb shit that Kyrie Irving has espoused. He didn't say, but by pushing this film, pushing is too much, because like he said in his press conference, I ain't push shit. I just posted about a movie, and I think in his mind he probably thinks that he did that. He probably thinks like, you know, like I sent a trailer to y'all earlier today. He probably thinks that's what he did, because he's not. I bet you when you get to so many followers at some point, your mind doesn't even make sense of numbers like that. You know what I'm saying? Once you have hundreds of thousands of millions of followers, it's well past anything that could be reasonable to you. You know what I'm saying? So in his mind, he probably was like in his mind, I am saying, he's more than likely thinking, I'm just talking to my homies saying, y'all got to check this movie out, man. It's about some Black Hebrew Israelites. Kendrick Lamar been talking about them Black Hebrew Israelites for about 3 albums now. And again, I ain't heard nobody get too salty at him.
I did see someone bring that up on Twitter the other day when this all happened.
Yeah.
Now, I guess, like, to expand on that, though, like, while that is all true, that he did just post out a link, I don't believe, like, and I keep me wrong, I don't know because I didn't read the tweet, but I believe based on the questions that were being asked at the first press conference, there was no context with the link. It was just the link to the film. Mm. So, do you feel the initial reporter was wrong to start asking questions about the link? Like, if this is the case, that like maybe like Kyrie doesn't feel this way or whatever, wouldn't that have all been brought up in the first media session? So rather than dodging questions and getting defensive about everything, could it have all been cleared up then?
Nah, because Kyrie been mad since fucking COVID.
Yeah.
So he always feels. I feel like he always feels like he's on the defensive when it comes to these pressers. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point they were like, oh, Why didn't you get traded? You know what I'm saying? It's like they already have come at Kanye. I mean Kanye, Lord knows, at Kyrie with a bit of animosity. You know what I'm saying? And so he, of course, comes with that mess. Because of course they've been clowning for flat Earth shit. They've been clowning for not getting vaccinated. They've been all these things. Is like, yo, bro, why do y'all keep coming at me?
Well, he doesn't have a good track record with public relations and relationships. Like, he forced his way out of Cleveland by just like quitting on everybody.
Yeah.
He goes to Boston. He was shitty to everyone on the team, and then he quit on them and left. Like, now he's in Brooklyn. There was, like, the one, like, week where he just, like, took personal leave and went and had a party. And like, I'm not even bringing up, like, any of the other, like, the COVID. Like, that's not even, like, it's like he just has a pattern of, like, being unreliable, flaky, like, outlandish things. He's an easy target for, like, people to be critical of because he's just, like, so off the beaten path with his behavior that you don't know where he's going to be at any given time. Mm-hmm. It's like he's on the spectrum of life, and he's just always just like everyone zigs and he zags or some shit.
Yeah, you want to know the one interesting thing about both these people that we aren't really naming? Both of them lost their mothers at times that they both needed them, and what everybody ever needs is somebody to nurture them and tell them, man, you're fucking up.
Yeah,
and neither one of them have that thing.
No, what they do have is people who will be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you cool. You can say it, you can say it right. I mean, Ray, you can say it yay.
Yeah. So
everybody needs mothers. Everybody needs somebody who can tell them and keep them like in check. Like dads are very important in life. But dads are like, you know, think it's cool when you beat up the bully on your playground. But your mom will tell you like, couldn't you have talked to him? Couldn't you have come up with another way of doing it? You know, it's very important in life to be able to have someone to nurture you in this world.
Yeah.
And
neither one of those men have that. They don't have somebody to say, baby, did you take your medicine today? Because one of them ain't.
Yeah. The end of the day, though, the thing about this conversation, though, is like we started off on something, and we haven't even really talked about what we even started it at, was corporations dictating people's opinions and speech.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing about this because I'm not going to, like I said, I don't care what people think for the most part. Like, as long as they're not hurting anybody. And in this instance, I guess people's thought, a frame of mind is that, like, him putting out to so many, it could lead other people to maybe do something. But, like, it's like the whole 90s video game thing. Like, oh, people play Mortal Kombat, so they're going to go kill people. Like, people are going to do what they're going to do. You know, you didn't put a gun in someone's hand or whatever. They did it themselves.
Yeah.
They're going to do what they're going to do, whether you were there or not. But whatever. But, yeah, like, the Nets suspending him because he won't, like, just cop and do what they say, what they want him to say. That's I think the real topic of discussion here, because it's a slippery slope. Because when I was having this conversation about this with someone else before the show, there was a thought that I had that, like, the only reason a lot of people don't say what they truly feel about anything is because we're all basically stuck in the system where we're dependent on other people for our means. For the most part, like self-employed people or rich people or whatever, they can do what the fuck they want. Well, self-employed, I guess, to a point, because they still need customers, but, you know, they don't have to worry about saying something and then a Brooklyn Nets suspending them or whatever. So a lot of people in the world don't say what they truly think or feel, whereas in this case, Kyrie, like, he hasn't actually said much of anything, but he won't just, like, kneel either.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, that's the thing. It's where it's like half the people, that's their problem, is he won't kneel. And then the other half are just so caught up in what he originally posted that, like, that doesn't even cross their mind.
Yeah, I was always told when I was a little kid, like, the world is run by big business. Like, the government is a front. It could be, you know, the White House could be called the Gatorade House for all purposes. Like, And it's coming true. It's like until you say what the one thing that you're not supposed to say, you cool. You can get away with everything, but when it gets to certain stuff, you can't say it. And I mean,
part of the problem with the world today too is like you could agree with people on 99 things, but if you disagree on that 100th, man, it's like what Nick Jew said last week. It's like people will forget all the good you do because of like one thing. Nobody's perfect, and like the world is full of. It's almost 7 billion people in this world, and not a single one of us are exactly the same. We all make different decisions every day. We all live different lives. We're the only ones in our position at that given moment. I'm the only one sitting in this fucking chair in my basement right now. T's the only one at that computer desk. Like, we all do different shit every single moment of every single day. No one is 100% the same. We all don't agree on the same shit. We don't believe in the same things. But, like, the commonality is just we're supposed to be good to each other.
Yeah.
And some people just fucking overlook that.
He wears a mask just to cover the raw flesh. A rather ugly brother with flows that's gorgeous. Drop dead joints hit the whips like bird shit. They need it like a hole in their head or a third tit. Her bra smell. His car say all hell. Barred from all bars and kicked out the Caravel. Keep a cooker where the jaw fell. And keep a cheap hooker that's off the hook like Ma Bell. Top bleeding. Maybe fella looking like the loaded rod is. Stop feeding babies colored sugar-coated lard squares. The odd pair swears in God fears. Even when it's rotten, we've gotten through the hard years. I wrote the note around New Year's. Off of a couple of shots and a few beers, but who cares? Enough about me, it's about the beats. Not about the streets and whose food he about to eat. A rhyming cannibal who's dressed to kill and cynical, whether it's animal, vegetable, or mineral. It's a miracle how he gets so lyrical. And proceed to move the crowd like an old Negro spiritual. For a meal, do a commercial for Mellow Yellow. Then tell them devils, hell no, sell your own jello. We hollow krills, she swallow pills. He follow flea collar $3 bills. And squeak for Halalville. If y'all appeal, dig the real. It's how the big ballers deal. Twirl a L after every meal. Food. Hello, welcome to It's Stage Crunchy. It's episode 469, and we are not your introduction to computer architecture, assembly, and machine language, microprocessor organization, including control or data path. But damn it, we are cool. I'm your host, the Internet's Taylor713, joined as always by my best friends. It's Tatum216.
Hello.
It's Lunchbox090. Wow, I just denied you numbers. It's Lunchbox 2099. Put some respect on this 2099.
I wanted you right here with me, but I have no choice. You've got to leave because my heart is breaking with every word I'm saying. I gave up everything I had on something that just wouldn't last, but I refuse to cry. No tears will fall from these eyes.
Was that one about Jake Gyllenhaal too?
I doubt it because when that song came out, she was like 13 years old.
Oh, I didn't know she was making a song that early. And I mean, they do be getting in them. Them dudes do be getting that the girls early, man.
When did Jake Gyllenhaal try and woo JoJo?
We thought that was a Taylor Swift
song.
Oh no, that was JoJo.
Oh,
which it's two JoJos. Which one was that one?
Not JoJo Srihar.
The one that used to date that black soccer player.
The one is gay, and the other one's they would have dated a black soccer player.
All right,
the other one.
You remember the?
No. I know you're talking about. It's JoJo Levesque.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
The fact we got two JoJos and two Nas's and all this shit in this day and age is too much. It's too much.
Oh yeah. You're talking about the one that was like the Nickelodeon girl or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it Nickelodeon or was it Disney?
Nigga, I don't know.
I first heard of her when, remember we used to Was that the Tilted Kilt we used to go to?
It was the Tilted Kill. Old girl took her kid to go see her. That is when I learned of her as well.
Same. I had no idea who the fuck that person was. And then when she showed us a picture, I was like, for real?
I just remember she was like, her daughter loved her.
Yeah. I know. Well, your lyrics this week was from MF Doom, who passed away now 2 years ago. God rest his soul. That song is Beef Rap off of his album, Food. I Did Those Lyrics No Justice is an amazing song when you hear Doom spit those flows. But he was just on my mind and heart this week, of course, because, like I said, he passed away on Halloween a couple of years ago. Though they didn't announce he had passed away until New Year's. I always thought that was something kind of, if you know about Doom was always kind of a secretive, wild out dude. And like he would sometimes have concerts where he wouldn't show up. He'd send an imposter to show up for him because he wears a mask. So he had somebody else show up on stage wearing a Doom mask. And sometimes people would be like, sometimes they wouldn't know, and sometimes they would know and not be happy about it. So R.I.P. Daniel Dumoulin. I'm sorry, what?
I said that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, man. Doom was really something special, bro. You know, it is remote news, but not even a lot of news this week. I'm trying to run a little tighter show tonight. Plus, we really that first topic was unexpected. I'll tell you that. I more just had a question for my guys, and then we went delving in, and that's okay too. I liked it that we can do that. Our lone story is one Ant sent me. It is from WTRF.com. John Lynch wrote this. I had to look up where the hell WTRF is at. It's in Wheeling, West Virginia. Oh, but the story is about Ohio, and the fact I can't find really any Ohio sources for it tells me this must be one of the towns that's like really close to West Virginia, and they must just be who cover news for them. This story is Ohio police say candy bar tested positive for meth/fentanyl. A police department in Ohio says a candy bar they tested came back presumptively positive for methamphetamine/fentanyl. Byesville police say they were made aware of a suspicious candy bar found in a child's candy bag from last night's Byesville trick-or-treat. Or Byesville, I don't know this town. Police say the unopened candy bar had a pin-sized hole in the wrapper. Police also say a statement was received from the mother of the child along with the candy bar itself. Byesville police then said a controlled test of the same brand of candy bar brought at a nearby gas station showed the same results. Oh. The candy bar is being rushed to a testing facility within the state of Ohio for further investigation. Byesville said that anyone that received candy from last night's trick-or-treat to dispose of it or not consume it until the investigation can be concluded. Once the results from the testing facility are in, the Byesville Police Department will advise the public of the results. Byesville did not disclose what candy tested positive. But if the candy in that area, let's say this Candy Kazoo bar, I ain't gonna name no actual brands. I ain't trying to get caught out there. Something about them has something on their wrapper or on the candy itself that makes a positive test come through on the kits they use to test drugs. Well, that might be saying something a lot technically about their testing methods. You know what I'm saying? Or they are selling us fentanyl in our candy bars, which would be real terrible. But I'm going to go with they probably have faulty testing kits. Because I remember a story, I want to say from Florida, and a cop tried to arrest a man and said he had crystal meth when he was like, I can assure you this is Krispy Kreme glaze. And they tested it, and it came back presumptively positive. And so that man had, fight that charge a bit. You know what I'm saying? He was, when it was all said and done, I believe I'm not going to say he was freed. But again, maybe that says something about the test these officers are using. And how many people have gotten a false positive and gone to the joint on some shit,
Well, I did find out that Byesville is 2 hours away from us. So if we are trying to get some candy bar drugs, we know where to go.
I literally just was looking it up on the map because I didn't know, never heard of it. It's actually like directly south of us. Like if you go to Columbus is kind of like southwest.
Yeah.
But if you draw a line from my house to this place, it's almost directly south.
That's wild.
It's
So
like,
so I wonder why Ohio stations didn't pick this story up, but a West Virginia station did. Like I said, I wouldn't double checked on this, and I was like, what's going on here? And like I said, this story is not really making waves.
I mean, because most people, I don't know, when it comes to like candy and drugs, man, ain't nobody sharing no drugs and no kids.
I know, but they make such a stink about it right before Halloween. Now that it actually has happened, presumptively until other tests can be done, you would think this will be fucking just about everywhere saying, yo, guess what? We have told y'all for years there's drugs in this candy, or could be drugs in this candy. We found drugs in candy. This shit should be an international fucking thing. But there are, like I said, a scant few actual like sources that are talking about this besides, WTRF. There's an MSN.com story that links back to WTRF. There's a Yahoo Finance story that, let me click on it, probably links right back there. No, this is a different person, but still, like, wait a minute, where is it? Good question.
I think this is just an onion story. I know I sent it, but
originally appeared in the Daily Jeffersonian. I don't know that I don't even know what that is, but that seems to be one of USA Today style blog news. So, like I said, I don't know. We'll see where that all ends up playing itself out as. But like I said, the link to the story will be in your show notes, and maybe some update will come along in the meantime. And if it does, we'll certainly let you know. But that was it was interesting to me. Like I said, for once, they found drugs in the candy, and nobody cares.
I'm just shocked that Fetty Wap's out of jail and is living a couple minutes east of Columbus.
Was Fetty Wap in jail?
Fetty Wap got arrested he was like a fentanyl kingpin of like New Jersey.
Huh?
You didn't hear about that? I think it was last summer. He was about to go on stage at like a music festival.
Yeah, and I remember that.
The feds arrested him.
I think his trap queen must have told on him.
He would have gotten away, but they came out of his peripheral.
Oh, and in August 22nd, 2022, Fetty Wap pled guilty to federal drug charges in New York. Rapper Fetty Wap admitted his role in an interstate multi-million-dollar drug trafficking scheme Monday, pleading guilty to a charge that carries a minimum sentence of 5 years in prison. The hip-hop star, real name Willie Maxwell II, 31, issued a plea to a single count of conspiracy to possess and distribute 500 grams of cocaine before Judge Stephen L. Locke, or I. Locke, at the federal courthouse in Central Islip on Long Island. I agreed with other people to distribute cocaine, he told the judge. He added that it was at least 500 grams and that some of the conduct occurred in Suffolk County. When asked how he pleaded, the Trap Queen rapper responded guilty. The charge carries a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison and a mandatory minimum of 5 years. Locke said at the hearing, no sentencing date was immediately scheduled. The plea is standard, and the rapper is not cooperating with law enforcement, his attorney, Elizabeth Macedonio, told reporters in the hallway outside the courtroom. He's not cooperating. I want this to be very clear. The New Jersey-born rap star appeared jovial in the courtroom, and before the judge took the bench, he repeatedly nodded, smiled at, and exchanged words with a group of 4 people who came to support him. I love you, Fetty Wap told him before being ushered out by U.S. Marshals following the hearing. Federal prosecutors say that the rapper was involved in a scheme in which he and his cohort picked up cocaine in Suffolk County and moved it to his home state of New Jersey to distribute.
Whoa, that's federal time.
Prosecutor Chris Cafferone told the judge that the U.S. Attorney's Office will provide significant evidence in the case if the case went to trial, including witnesses, testimony, and video footage that showed Fetty Wap out here on Long Island. Locke noted that during the hearing, the prosecutors had not given Fetty Wap a 5K letter, which are usually handed out to defendants who cooperate with law enforcement in an effort to get them lower sentences. The musician had been held at a special housing unit at Brooklyn Federal Jail since he was remanded in custody 3 weeks ago. his attorney said at the end of the hearing. Okay, so yeah, my man Fetty Wap, you are correct. It wasn't fentanyl apparently, or maybe he got arrested for fentanyl, but it turned out to be coke. I don't know. But that was from August is when he.
Yeah, I remember when he got arrested. There was a lot of people talking about how there was like an increase in fentanyl deaths in the area at that time.
Okay.
So I guess maybe I just blurred the two together.
Well, again.
So now, when someone pleads guilty, does that like a pretrial thing, and then they just don't go to trial?
Yeah. Once you plead guilty, there's no need to have a trial. The trial is for, oddly enough, to prove one's innocence. And in this case, he said, I did that shit, and this is what I did, and these are the terms that have been agreed to. He would do at least 5 years and could do up to 40.
Oh. Well, I hope he doesn't have to do 40.
Yeah.
Maybe he just figured, like, they've got enough on me where, like, they'll definitely pin 40 on me, or, a high number. Like, maybe he just thought, if I just say I did it, maybe they'll kind of, like, go lighter on me than if I fight it.
Yeah, it would appear. Yeah, like I said, it would appear that that's probably what his lawyer just recommended. Like, bruh, they got enough right now to send your ass up for a very long time. Let's just try to play nice. And I feel like him saying I ain't cooperating is just more to keep him safe from motherfuckers who will be like, oh, you suck it out and told on people,
Well, yeah, that's probably why he. I mean, speculation, but that's probably why he just take the. I'll take the 4 instead of getting 40, and instead of implicating any of my people.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, okay, cool. You got 2 stories. That was unplanned. Thanks, Box.
Happy to help.
AKA Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap, the original Fetty Wap. I'm going to hand the reins over to you, sir, and you walk me through whatever I need to do.
Well, so the other day, it's spooky. It was spooky season. Shit's still real out here, but it was spooky season last week. And I was going through HBO, and I seen that they had posted Gremlins, under recommended watching for Halloween. I was like, I think it's time. I think the boys would enjoy watching this movie. So, of course, I think it might have been Saturday. So, Emery is only 5, so we didn't let him watch it, but we watched Gremlins. So me, my partner, and my oldest son Spud watched it. I mean, this movie is highly problematic. Like, highly. Like, from the beginning, like, the dad was like in the Asian style market, and he was like, he hear this singing in the back. He's like the owner of the store right away, like, that ain't for sale. You can't have one of those. And the dad was like, man, I need that shit for my son. Come on, man. I need that shit. I need it. So the little boy, fucking sell him the Mogwai. And, like, for the beginners, like, you should be listening to, the old man said that shit for a reason.
Dude, I literally watched Gremlins 2 the other day.
We're going to watch that Saturday.
I feel like you can watch Gremlins. Gremlins 2 is much more cartoony. I think you probably get Emery in on that one.
Well, it's funny because on Halloween night while we were trick or treating, there was a little kid wearing a Gizmo costume, which the kid was incredibly cute. And Emery was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "Man, look, it's Gizmo." And then I ain't called Emery out on it. But he was like, "Oh yeah, that's Gizmo." I was like, "Man, you don't even know who Gizmo is. Sit your ass up." But I didn't say that to him. I just let him have his shine.
When I was watching Gremlins 2, I had a thought. Gizmo had the most perfectly done cuticles of any movie monster I've ever seen. Like, them shits was glistening.
I feel like, especially most of the other parts of the movie don't. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie, but the only parts that I really was entertained by were like the Gremlins and of course Gizmo. Like the rest of the shit was like truly bothersome to me. It's like this dude, why are you buying like going out of your way to buy a present for your 20-something? Because how old is this dude, Billy? Like he work at a fucking bank. You got to be at least 22 or 23. What is going on? Because he was able to go to the bar where Phoebe Cates worked at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is too old to be so fucking irresponsible. Like your phone, not his phone. I'm thinking about this time. You check the clock. The clock wasn't working. It's like you didn't think it was midnight. You still fed them chicken and shit.
I know, like there's the rules, and I respect that. But I felt like in the second movie, when he was explaining the rules to his like coworkers, they had some valid questions. Like what happened?
I have to see the second one. I have not seen it.
Oh, you've never seen it?
No,
I thought you had. Okay, shit.
I have not. I'm not.
You are in for a treat. Joe Dante really kind of had a good time with that movie. He really he pretty much made a live action Looney Tunes, and it's fucking fantastic in every way, shape, and form.
Shit, I will be over here Gizmo checking you now. Shit, like you don't know fucking Gizmo.
I put it like this: I haven't seen that movie in a solid 2 to 3 decades,
for sure.
Like I've probably seen it, but have I seen it with adult eyes? No, I haven't even seen it in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I haven't watched the first one in maybe 20 years. But I've seen the second one from time to time. Like I said, I just watched it like last Saturday.
Like, I know for a fact I've seen every episode of Pee-wee's Playhouse. But that shit is all jelly in my head now. That used to be my shit. I was a ride or die. I even had the DVDs back in the day. DVDs probably 20 years ago now. I can say you can say that now. I had those DVDs 20 years ago. Like, but you were about to say?
I was about to say that. I mean, but you saw what he was raised by. A traveling inventor salesman who ain't never home, and a mom that kind of just be like overly supportive.
You can put it on Billy's mama.
I'm just saying.
She was the only one in the house. And like, I understand Billy was trying to help out. Like, they didn't say nothing about like this dude trying to go to school. They didn't like he just upstairs living in the attic, trying to get some strange from his coworker. Oh, okay. So,
that's not good either. Wow.
This is probably the part where you should go ahead and play the interview I did with Spud. Now that I know we can do this, I might interview my kids more now. Like you could splice it into the show and like have people listen actually on the show.
All right, and here we go.
Hello. So, Spud, the other night we watched something that I hadn't watched in a long time. Probably since I was probably your age. We watched Gremlins. Can you tell me what you thought about it?
I liked it, except for the romance.
The romance in the movie?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't much romance in it. It wasn't like no kissing or nothing in the movie.
Yes, there was.
Who was kissing? With Billy and a girl? How many times did they kiss?
1.
Okay. All right. So besides the kissing, like, what was your favorite parts in the movie?
Probably when Spike died.
Okay, when Spike died, that was a good part. Yeah. So did you like So I guess that's called like special effects. Did you like the special effects in the movie, like the different stuff? Like the puppeteering, the way the Gremlins and stuff was moving. Did you like that? So you said your favorite part was when Spike died. You were anti-romance when it comes to movies. Who was your favorite character in the movie?
I would say Gizmo because he's the cutest one.
Okay, he was cute. Gizmo is very cute. And like I mean, I guess Gizmo is like the, besides Billy, like the lead character in the movie. And I do like Gizmo. Gizmo is very cute, and I like the way he was like the little stuff he would say, like no, and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. But like I said, I haven't seen that movie since I was your age, and I'm pretty old now. You're really young, so it's been a really long time since I've seen it. But I really enjoyed watching it with you.
Me too.
So what else did you like about the movie?
I kind of liked. I liked when struck it
Okay.
to the other gremlin.
What you mean when he was shooting him? Okay, you like when you like he was because he had like a little
Portia?
like a little pistol, like a 357. He was shooting at the other people in the movie. Okay, what else did you like?
I liked when Spike jumped into water a little bit.
Oh, when he jumped in the water and created all the other gremlins? Okay. So, you watched Gremlins. Did you think it was scary?
No.
Before now, what do you think was the scariest movie you ever watched?
I haven't watched that yet. I haven't watched the scariest movie.
But no, for you, what do you think was like the scariest thing you ever seen? Like as far as on TV or a movie?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet? Do you think you could watch something scary?
No.
No? Okay, so before now, what's your favorite movie to watch?
That The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's not a little scary, you think?
No.
Okay, so The Nightmare Before Christmas is currently your favorite movie. What's the movie that you watched? No, Paranorman. No, Paranorman is a little scary. And what else? What was that other movie? That house movie where the dude's wife turned into a house? The Monster House. The Monster House is not scary. It's a little spooky for a kids movie, and so is Paranorman. It's kind of weird.
Why?
And when you were little, you used to watch Paranorman all the time.
I wasn't scared of it at all.
I don't think you were scared of it, but you don't watch some movies that are borderline spooky and scary before. But like Gremlins, I think is your first like PG movie that you've watched.
What does PG mean?
So movies have ratings. There's rated G for general audience. Everybody can watch it. PG is parental guidance. PG-13 is you can't watch it without being 13. And then R, you got to be 17. Then there's NC-17 where you have to be 17, like, period. And then, like, rated after that, you can't watch it at all. But, like, when you get older, it's a bunch of movies I want to watch with you. Like RoboCop is like one of my favorite movies ever, and that's rated R. So you're gonna have to be older, or you're gonna have to be old enough for me to be like, yeah, you can watch this. I want to watch Superbad with you. Like one of my favorite movies is Death Proof. You could probably watch Teen Wolf. I don't think that'd be a big deal. I know T and Dan. You know, So me and T have been making jokes about Shawshank Redemption, even though it came from another movie. But he had never seen Shawshank Redemption. And if you're from Ohio, you need to see Shawshank Redemption. Are you from Ohio?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, what else is like your favorite thing to watch?
My favorite thing to watch is The Dead End, which is kind of a little scary.
Okay.
And
if you had a top 5, what would be your top 5 shows?
Dead End. Oddball is my new one.
Oddball, okay. What about like all-time favorites?
Big Time Rush.
Big Time Rush, okay.
Game Tunes.
Okay. You're not gonna throw Adventure Time in there?
I do like Adventure.
Okay, you used to watch Adventure Time a lot. You used to watch what was the little with the little kids that were ghosts and the dad was a ghost and they lived in a cupcake shop or something like that.
I don't remember that.
It was the little dude who was the ghost and he had an older brother and the dad.
Oh
You don't remember the name of that show?
no!
The Ghost.
Wait, the Haunted Hackaways?
Yeah, the Honey Hathaways. So you love spooky stuff. Then.
Yeah, I do. I'm a Halloween hack.
You're a Halloween hack. You're a hack. Period. All right. So, what are you looking forward to watching Gremlins Part 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel like you want to be interviewed again after Gremlins 2? Or are you done with being interviewed?
I want to be interviewed after Gremlins 2.
Is there any other movies you think else you want to watch? Because we started watching Goonies the other day, but I kind of feel like Goonies was like more inappropriate than Gremlins was.
How?
It was just saying some stuff. I was just like, that's not really cool. And then they were picking with
the
truffle shit, making them do the truffle shuffle and stuff. I didn't like that very much. It's always different watching stuff with you and then like feeling bad for the other characters in the movie because I'm like, I wouldn't want nobody to treat you like that if you had friends. So it's always a different feeling. I want people to treat everybody right. So maybe I need to stop being such a dad and let you watch some more movies, huh? You have anything else you want to say?
No.
No? You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bye. Peace.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Could y'all hear how that was like basically panned to one ear and then it boomed over to this and right at the end? If you look at the track in like in fact, I mean I can just show you what it looks like. I chuckled when I saw it. I was like, how did he record this that had these tracks so super disparate in how they look? Let me pull that open for you.
I don't know. I recorded it with my phone. Maybe I should have recorded it on my Chromebook or something.
I'm just going to show you what it looks like in Audacity. And so if you look at that, most of that audio is on your right channel. And on the top, like it's just, but every now and again you'll see it peak, it bounce back, like so. Like over here, I was like, how did he record? I was very interested because it had a very like, it was panning. I was like, how did he record this? And I was like, but now I know because I just now listened to it that the left channel is pretty much just room tone until you get to the end right there where you see it's more, it jumps more to the left than it does to the right. Now, when I mix it down, it'll just sound like, it'll just be a mono, so it'll just sound like what it sounds like.
What I think,
but I just found that
is going on is so when we were sitting in a room, I made sure we went to the like the back bedroom so we could close the door and be in a carpeted room because we were going to record down here. And then I was like, we were sitting across from each other in chairs. What I'll do next time is if I don't record it on Audacity, I'll put the phone in between the both of us. Because he was...
Yeah. He was on one side and you were on the other?
I was closer to the phone than he was. Next time I'll put him closer to the phone. Or either put it like directly in between us.
I just find that kind of shit fascinating, of course, because I'm the guy who looks at waveforms like at least twice a week, any given week. So I just had to chuckle at it. I was like, how did they record this? So thank you for that little bit of information. Thank you for interviewing the little man. I like that he just discovered something about himself with you. Was like, oh, yes, I do fucking spooky shit. Damn, who knew? I'm quite excited for you to watch Gremlins 2. When are y'all watching that?
Saturday, probably either Friday or Saturday.
Well, let us all. I mean, Box just said he just recently watched it, but let's all try to have that watched by next week, and maybe we can contribute a little bit to the conversation. Or I don't know, maybe do something for the pages about it. I don't know. Oh, we can do a commentary track.
A commentary track.
Let us consider. Well, I will marinate on that further. So maybe we can get that. That is something we can do for the patrons, where you can sync up and watch Gremlins 2 along with your Team Skim here. But I have to get the foibles together for that. But that seems like a good time. What else? Anything?
I mean, I guess what else has been going on? Of course, we trick or treated.
How'd that go?
It went fine. We went in a city near us called Lyndhurst, Ohio. It might be a village. I don't know. But it's this park that we go to, and we discovered, like, not this year, it's like the year before last. Might be 3 years ago at this point, because it was before the pandemic. We went to this park, and we parked at the park, and we walked to a couple different houses, and that seemed to work really well, in my opinion. Like, we could park the car. We don't have to keep on getting in and out of the car. We're not parking on the street because, during Halloween, kids are going up and down the street. People are getting in and out of their cars. And I just feel like that's chaos. So the people are always super nice. It's a halfway decent suburb. So sometimes you'll get, you'll get the good stuff. Sometimes you'll get just a random strawburst, but it's a good time, and like the people are usually pretty nice. But like last year, I remember when I would say things start opening back up. Like everybody seemed to participate on that street, and everybody will like had their fire pits outside, like in their driveway, and like dads were offering beers to you, like, hey, you want a beer and all this stuff. And I felt like, yeah, when we go back next year, this is what we'll probably do. This will probably be the plan, because we didn't want to get the kids a ton of candy. We just wanted to get them just enough, and that shit was still too much. So, but like other than that, like it's just been. I guess we'll talk about like entertainment, but man, if you aren't caught up on Atlanta, it was such a great episode this week, man. I know you don't watch Atlanta, do you, Lunch? Mm-mm. This episode, you have to watch just this one. I'm not saying watch any other one in life, but
it's a bottle episode anyway, right? You don't have to watch
it. It's about the Goofy movie.
Oh man, I love that movie.
Yep, we'll talk about it more in a little bit, but that was it.
Very good. Box is yours, baby. What's going on?
Mine will be a little brief. So I read something on Twitter the other day. This old man I follow that used to own a Cavs message board, and he tweeted out something. I read it and I went, okay. Then later on that day, I was doing something, and then like I thought back to what he said, and I was like, man, he's fucking right. So,
damn it.
So what he had said was something to the effect of, if you don't have kids that you're taking out trick or treating, you should be at home passing out candy. If you were a kid who wanted to go out trick or treating and you were little, you should carry on the tradition. And I read that and I was just like, oh man, whatever. And then later on that day, I was up after I got off work. I was upstairs in my living room and I was looking out the window, and I didn't know what time trick or treating started in my neighborhood or anything. I don't have kids or nothing. I hadn't really thought about it. And then, like, shortly after I went upstairs, like, I started hearing kids walking down the street with their parents, and I looked outside, and like all the houses that I could see around me, like no porch lights were on.
Yeah.
And then I thought, fuck. Because that's not like I didn't have candy because I wasn't planning on passing out candy. I didn't have that thought, And then I was like, man, I feel like a dick now. I'm like, you know what? Next year, passing out candy. I'm going to start passing out candy. I'm going to be a candy giver. I have no problem. As long as it's not raining or some shit, I have no problem sitting on the front porch with a bucket, throwing candy in bags. Like, I even pretend like I care about your kids' costumes. Because what the guy says is true. It's like when I was a kid, I didn't mind trick-or-treating, and so I got to be, someone who helps carry on those traditions. And damn it, next year I'm answering the call.
That shit made my heart smile once. Like, the fact that you realize, like, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. It's like, it's the one time a year where it seems like it's more to what the world needs. That, like, it's just people giving from their heart. You're not really expecting nothing back but to see a cool costume. It's such a nice holiday that people try to shit on.
Yeah, like,
who shit on Halloween?
I mean, religious. I mean, I don't. Some people, religious people, like, it's the devil's holiday. You still hear that. You still hear, like, just like the first story is like, man, you got to be careful. It's fentanyl in these fentanyl nuggets.
Scrumptious fentanyl nuggets.
That was more fentanyl.
Yeah. What sold me, like, because I mean, what he said was obviously true, but like, I didn't really grasp it until, like I said, like, I looked out that window and it was like, I put myself in those kids' shoes of, like, getting excited with their costumes, going out thinking they're gonna get candy, and then it's like, I look out and I just see lights off, lights off, lights off, lights off. That'd be soul crushing for me. And so it's like, I'm like, I can't be the cause of kids soul crushing anymore, even if I'm the only one giving candy. Fuck it, I'll give candy. Now the question is, what do I give next year? Because obviously I don't know what the next year is going to hold. I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know, any of that. But let's just say things stay the same. I maintain I'm okay to give candy financially.
Yeah.
Am I going to be a Snickers minis guy? Am I going to be a Reese's guy? I will not be a Smarties variety pack kind of guy.
Well, see, that's the thing, though.
Do I go minis the first year, or do I ball out and go full size?
Oh, no. So here I got one even better for you. I was listening to the Giant Bombcast yesterday as I was on my walk, and one of their guys is what is his name? Chef something or other. Anyway, what he did, and he's local. He lives in Westlake. He moved here. He moved to Westlake from Colorado maybe mid-year this year. So he now lives around our way, which is also kind of kick-ass. Jeff Grubb of Giant Bomb. He gave out packs of Pokemon cards. And he said, and what's even better is in his case, one, he said he wouldn't trick-or-treat with his kids. So he just left them on the porch and let people take them. But that's the thing. People were respectful. That's the thing about Halloween. Depending on where you at, it'll work. That actually works. You know what I'm saying? People will be respectful, take the one, and make sure the next one happens. And he said he's out the streets and he heard people saying, that house has Pokemon cards. We got to go to that house. And he said how good that made him feel to be like, my house is the cool house. That's fucking kick ass. So I'm just saying, if you want to be the dope house, you know what I'm saying, the trap that motherfuckers want to go to on Halloween, especially because if you probably be the lone guy out there. Maybe have some Pokemon cards for like maybe for like the dope costumes. Because that's what it always is. You're supposed to hook up the kids that come through with the dope costumes. Yeah. Or if they're super tiny and it seems like it's their first time out and you want to make it special for them. So like just the little ones, and it's like it seems like mom and dad are just bringing them out for the first go around, or mom or whatever. Take no offense. You hook them up. and anybody else, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who just like, he just came through. You know who came through, who didn't make an attempt, and who came through who maybe didn't have the money to buy a costume. You will. I'm telling you, they come with a different energy. You know what I'm saying? That's who you like. I'm going to slide you something special. Take this candy. You take that candy bar, but also this pack of Pokemon cards. Or whatever cards. You know what I'm saying? You can find some garbage pail cards. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely felt bad about not passing out candy because we were trick-or-treating. But I did see quite a few take one, take some buckets. I'm definitely going to do that if we take the kids trick-or-treating. If not, because usually one of us stays home. But we both went out this year. But what I was about to say about Smarties and Dum Dums, Smarties and Dum Dums is kind of like a roll. Like when you got a Thanksgiving plate, yes. If I get all rolls, I'm mad. But like I do have some Snickers and like bottle caps, and when you got a variety, like sometimes I'm in a Dum Dum mood. I'll take a cherry Dum Dum.
But
if I could have a pack of Smarties right now, my guy, I would be on that shit like white on rice. The fact that my child didn't bring home not a lot of like the fruity OGs. Sad to me, man.
Well, the thing is, like, I gotta be comfortable with this too. This isn't just a one-sided thing. Like, I have to be happy with what I'm doing. And if I'm giving out candy I don't even like, all like that, then it's not as fun for me. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like I want to feel good about this too. And I think what I'm going to do is I want to get like a cauldron bucket, you know, because I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I pass out from that, and then when it's getting like obviously, I'll also have to look up how long the trick or treat times are or whatever. But when it's getting near that end, whatever kid comes up last gets whatever's left. If there's a whole bucket, the kid's getting the fucking bucket. I might even just give them the cauldron. You know, because I could replace a cauldron. It's a couple bucks. It's whatever.
For sure.
But if say there's like half a cauldron, I'm dumping it in the bag. You got candy, baby.
Yeah, that's usually the move. Like, especially like when it started getting darker. Like, I would just load up the candy. Then I would feel bad because like one more kid would come. Like, oh man, that last kid got most of the candy.
I think I'd keep a bag in reserve just in case.
Yeah, you always just a little something, just a couple little extras just in case. You know what's up. Oh my god, that's so hype! I'm excited for next year. Like I said, I didn't give away candy this year. It was I don't know. It just wasn't on my mind to even try to even think about doing it. But I did last year, and I had such a good time. And so it was a very fun time. So I understand the notion. So
I did it,
and now
I've never done it as an adult in my own home, but I did it once when I lived at my dad's still in high school. And what I did was I laid in we had a bunch of leaves, and like they did like a little bit of like the pumpkin bags or whatever. I laid in like jeans, shoes, a hoodie, and all that with my face covered by the leaf bags. So when the kids came up, I'd come up out of like the leaf bags and scare them.
Nice. Yeah, I dig that box, man. I like that in you. I like that that's on your head and heart. That's exciting. And he's absolutely right. You wanted homes to be there, available to you, lights on with candy and having a good time. All you gotta do is have an event. You know what I'm saying? Have some people come through. Hey man, we're gonna light a fire in my driveway and pass out candy to the kids. Drink some beers. It's gonna be great. And or water. I don't
lighting a fire in my driveway seems a little sketch, but I understand your point.
No, I mean a fire pit. You know what I'm saying? Your car's all the way in the back. You got all just slate. You'd be all right. Put the fire pit out there, roast some weenies, drink some beers, watch some foosball, whatever. Yeah. Not like the British Bake Off s'mores, though. Okay? Don't do all
not
that.
digestive biscuits, no.
Again, get down with you some McVitie's. Might change your mind. And in case y'all was wondering, the Eagles is up by, what is that? If I do the
12.
math there, a dozen points. And there's a minute 47 left in this game. the Eagles look like they're about to head to be an 8-0. And I think they got a bye next week. So that'd be real nice, though. If you didn't know, even before the Eagles was cool, I've talked about this in the past. The Eagles used to be my NFC squad. It's because they had black quarterbacks. And so, and I have always had a little twinkling in my eye for the Eagles. And it's fun to see an organization that I guarantee you people was not. I feel like nobody's talking about the Eagles in the preseason, or not preseason per se, but just in the off season, as if they had any kind of.
People were hyping up Jalen Hurts as a good fantasy quarterback, but I don't remember many people predicting the Eagles to be 8-0.
Yeah. So how interesting. But, of course, they are playing the Texans. The fact that the Texans got – I guess they was tied, after the half. So, yeah, the Texans. Who knew? All right, it's over to me. And what do I got to tell you this week, Graham? Let's see. We didn't really do trick-or-treating. Entertainment will come up in the entertainment section. I'm trying to think if anything else was popping this week. I posted about this on my my TikTok, and I guess I put a post about it on the IGs. My longest pre-order finally shipped and arrived at my house, and it was the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the KO edition from Limited Run Games, and it is the thing that means I will never buy from Limited Run Games again in my life. And it's not because it took nearly, and I mean just nearly 2 years. I ordered that January 15th, 2021. It's because they had no customer service compunction about this shit being as late as it was. I started getting emails from them saying, all right, we're about to ship all the way back in. Let me see if I still have them. I might have tossed them because I emptied out. No, I still got them. So basically, a year after, I got a hey, these are about to ship out here in February 28th. They're heading out Monday, February 28th. We're sending them to you. And I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm about to get this. It's been a year, but that's reasonable because it's such a big piece of kit. And then February 28th passes, and they send another email out like, don't worry, we're getting out to you March 8th, coming to you. And I didn't get that until here November 1st. So and so I would write and be like, hey, what's up with this shit? And they're like, oh, it's a production issue. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And I'm like, all right, what are you going to do about this? Because they kept saying shit like, we're shipping. Don't worry, we're about to start shipping. Every month they'd say it's going to ship by the end of this month. Since February of this year. And like I said, it's that shittiness and that piss poor customer service experience that told me I'm like, I'll never order from them again. And I've spent a lot of money at Limited Run Games. I got a score of Limited Run Games stuff around my house right now. But this is the where I conclude my business dealings with them because they suck. And their customer service sucks. And as a lot of people have said lately, their products have been sucking. People have been buying other things and they've been arriving in all states of broke and fucked up and so forth. So that was jacked up and I'm salty off of that. But also, I opened that thing and it's so cool, man.
It was a very nice video.
If it lights up and plays music and I got drumsticks and a sweet ass game case. It came with a fucking I happen to have it right here. A full color manual. You know when the last time we had manuals in games and shit? I'm just dropping all kinds of stuff out of it. But yeah, like old school, full color manual. That's insane. And I gotta respect that because it's so well done. And also, the game is still great after all these years. I fucking love it. So
yeah, you made me want to buy the game.
Yeah, you should definitely have Scott Pilgrim, bro. You can play. It's multiplayer, and also you can play it online. It's a beat 'em up. I think you might get down with Scott Pilgrim. Like it's a reversible case, He's kind of in the Sonic pose, you know what I'm saying? From Sonic on the Dreamcast. And if you wanted to, you can I keep dropping stuff out of his case. You can switch it to the to that side. But that's one of my favorite things about buying the games on PlayStation, and is that nearly all first person PlayStation games have reversible cover. But my now current longest outstanding pre-order is Vince Staples' album, Vince Staples, which was named after himself, which I ordered last year in May with hope that it would show up at some point. and then at some point I got an email from them. So I ordered that initially in, like I said, I think I ordered that in May of 2021. And it said it would be here by November 2021. It is now November 2022. It is still not here. They sent an email out in May of this year that said, unfortunately, due to extended production delays, your order is not quite ready, and we don't know when it will be. They basically was just like, I don't know, dog. I know you gave us money for a product, but it ain't never coming. And then they the other day, all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got a ship notification. And let's go to look at the old shop app. At last check, it's been like a week since they said they were shipping it. And it has been sitting in Ferndale, Michigan, where it still sits right now in Ferndale, Michigan. So
how do you like the shop app? I think it's a good app.
I don't use it for anything. It's just a thing. It would basically, at some point, it kept saying, look, you want to track your package, you got to download the shop app. So they kind of just forced my hand. I don't use it for anything. I just order stuff and it ends up dropping the order into shop, you know?
Yeah, because it tracks like all your orders and like
it does. It's
a good app.
Yeah. So that is basically the only story I had to tell you this week, man. Let's get into Reddit and some Am I the Asshole, and then we'll do some entertainment, and we'll send this on to glory, my people. I have pulled 4 Am I the Assholes this week. We will each get one. So I'm going to read you off the titles. You guys each pick one, and then I'll pick one, and the 4th one will just fall by the wayside.
Asshole for all.
Here are your options. Am I the asshole for taking our son trick-or-treating without my wife? Am I the asshole for leaving my friend's dog at a dog shelter after she abandoned him at my home?
No. Ex-friend.
Am I the asshole for insisting I'm not pregnant and yelling at my mom? Am I the asshole for asking my parents to cover half the cost of my new Nintendo Switch?
I like the Nintendo Switch one.
Yeah, I was going to vote for that one because the dog one seems pretty obvious based on title. Yeah. But who knows? But yeah, the Switch one was going to be my vote.
Well, I'll take the dog one.
All right. Switch, dog, trick-or-treating is it. Sorry that your mama think you pregnant, this poor lesbian girl. For the record, the subreddit does not think this person is an asshole. This person's mama, this person is sick and having a vomit issue, and their mom seems to think they're pregnant and is excited to become a grandma. It's a weird story going on there.
Did you see the big thing about Young M.A. being pregnant?
No, I don't know who Young M.A. is. My guy.
Ooh.
Nope. I'm washed. I can't call it. Am I the asshole for asking my parents to cover half the cost of my new Nintendo Switch? I'm 19. I got a Switch for my 17th birthday. My parents covered half the price and I paid the rest. My sister's 14 and constantly asks if she can play on my Switch. I allow her as long as she's careful and has clean hands. She's been pretty good all these years until last week. She sent me a text asking if she can play on my Switch, and when she came home from school and I was still at work. I said sure. When I came back, whole Switch was greasy, especially the Joy-Cons. She admitted to eating chips while playing. I told her not to ever do that again. 2 days later, same thing happens. She texted me asking if she can play. I said yes, but only if she's not eating anything and has clean hands. She promised to be careful and said that she just wanted to show something to her friends really quick. When I came back from work, my Switch was on the dining table, one Joy-Con missing, screen cracked, back panel in pieces. My sister locked herself in the room. So from what I was told, my sister was showing something to her friend and accidentally dropped it. I really doubt that is what happened due to the damage, but she swears up and down that this is what happened. I wasn't super mad at her. I was just more sad and upset. We both explained the situation to our parents, and I asked them to pay half for my Switch, or if I'm buying the OLED just to contribute half of the price of a normal Switch. They said absolutely no. We argued for a while, and I asked them if they would at least give me $100, but they would not budge, whatever. My mom said that I'm entitled for expecting them to pay for my toys, and now I'm kind of feeling bad. ... I assume we use that ... to ask the question, are they the asshole? Gentlemen?
Nah.
I don't think he's an asshole. This is a tough situation because, like, I don't know if the parents are obligated to replace the person's stuff, but I don't think they're an asshole for asking.
I feel like under any normal circumstances, if one of your children breaks something that belongs to someone else, then you're responsible for your child breaking something. It just so happens that another child is yours. But
that's where I think the caveat is, because a lot of times parents just be like, y'all gotta learn to cohabitate. Whereas, like, if you break, like, your kids break something that belongs to somebody on the street, then like, they're going to expect you to replace it. But, like, it almost seems like within families, it's like, you know, survival of the fittest sometimes. Not always. I personally would like to see the parents replace it, you know, but I also don't know how old this person is.
What do you mean?
Like, if they're an adult, like, I know it sucks, but, like, sometimes when you're an adult and bad shit happens, you know, sometimes you just gotta take the L. Like, I've had family members steal my shit and no one replaced it.
Well, they're 19. Their parents initially paid half of it back when they were 17, so it's not like it's an unheard of proposition to request such a thing. Their sibling did break it. Assumingly, you know, on their watch, you know what I'm saying? Because the poster
like,
was at work.
You've got older kids. You have kids that are almost in this age bracket here.
I have kids exactly in this bracket.
So, like, what would happen if, you know, Lee broke Xander's Switch if he had one, if he has one? I don't know. But, like, then he comes to you and is like, Dad, Lee broke my Switch. I want you to pay half of it for a new one. What are you saying?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I'm saying no problem. But I'm built that way. Also, you know, I'm super into games, so you know I have a sensitivity to that kind of shit. So I get it. So I'm a piss poor example in this case.
Well, no, you're an example of what a lot of people would hope would be their situation. Like, if I'm in this dude's shoes, like, I'm not saying that I think parents shouldn't help him. I'm just saying I can understand a lot of parents wouldn't. Because a lot of parents, when you're 19 and they don't think that should be a priority for you, they're almost sometimes, I think, relieved. Maybe not our generation so much, like, to our kids, but, like, the generation before us, like, video games are a waste of time and you need to focus on your career and all that. They would look at your shit getting broken as a blessing.
Yeah. You're right. Reddit says this person is not the asshole. I'm gonna scroll through see if I see any glowy comments. Nothing huge. Everybody says no way, not the asshole. And as I scroll, I don't see anything busting out that makes me think that they even said anything ill of the parents. But here's one that says not the asshole. Your parents are basically telling you that you shouldn't share with your sibling next time. Also, what in the world is paying for half a Switch for a birthday present? I know they're not exactly cheap, but that seems stingy. Yeah, This was a birthday present that he had to pay half on. Or they. I don't know if they mentioned the gender themselves. But, yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Yeah, your parents stink.
Mm-hmm. Your parents just seem like they're a little cheap to begin with.
Yeah. We can arrive at that. That's okay. All right. And you said the dog catcher. Dog catcher. Am I the asshole for leaving my friend's dog at a dog shelter after she abandoned him at my home? I'm 35 female, and I have a friend, 32 female, who asked me to dog sit for her poodle for 2 weeks while on vacation with her husband. I had some rough batches with the friend before, but she paid me before we had to take care of her dog, and my house is big, so I agreed. I really like dogs. I had many through the years, and now I have one good golden boy named Dorado. But I really hated this dog. Peed everywhere, was destructive, picked up fights with Dorado, felt entitled to my food while having a full bowl untouched, and even shitted on my bed.
No.
Out of all the places he could shit, decided to shit on my bed. After 2 weeks, I called my friend, expecting her to be back in town and come get her little monster. She never answered. No text, no social media, nothing. After trying to reach her on Instagram, I got blocked.
What?
I waited for her to appear at the front door, but that never happened. I called her husband, who also ghosted me. After 10 days of being ghosted, 10 days, people.
So
I had enough.
That's 24 days total then.
Correct. 20. Well, yeah. So I had enough, went to the shelter, dropped the dog there. They won't accept pet dogs into the shelter. So I said it was a stray.
Clever as hell.
I finally had peace at home. And 1 week later, so, what is that? 34 days.
31 days.
So a month and 4 days later, eat a dick. My friend called me saying that she was coming back for her dog.
Okay.
I blow up at her asking where the hell she was and that I got tired of waiting, so I dropped the dog off at a shelter. She started fighting me over the phone, saying that it was unfair, that I was putting her dog in danger, and that I should just have waited a little longer. Mm-hmm. I sent her the shelter address, and some days later, she said that she was going to sue me because she had to buy her dog back. Mm-hmm. The shelter doesn't sell dogs, but maybe she was charged an adoption fee. She's making my life so much more dramatic right now. Maybe I should have waited a few more years, is what she wrote, but I can't believe that's what she meant to write, but whatever. Was I wrong for what I did? This is the Anthony rule.
No.
You know you wouldn't
I don't
wrong.
know if it's an Anthony rule.
You know you wasn't wrong.
Like, I don't understand. So, what's going on that she got blocked on Instagram? Was she being wild? What was she saying then? If you got blocked and stuff, like blocking somebody isn't like an easy task. You have to go through several steps to block people.
No, you don't. I block people all the time. It's like 2 buttons. So it's so easy.
2 buttons. But you gotta select the person. And they ask you if you're sure. That's 3 steps.
No. Because if they message you, it's just like. Let's count. Let's see if it is 3 steps, like you said. So I'm going to go to this dude, and I'm going to click. Oh, you know what? Hey, you're right. This looks like it's a multi-step process. So I picked this guy. In this case, I have to click his name. But at the bottom there, it is just blocked. It is right there. So I mean, but I did have to click his name. So that is at least 3 steps. You are correct, because it's click his name, click block, and then probably say yes, block. So you're right. It's some steps.
So this person had to say something extra for you to get blocked by her and the husband.
Here's the deal. It's been 2 weeks. Come get your fucking dog. I don't care what the fuck you said.
Something fishy. Ain't nobody leaving no dog for 31 days like that.
Especially without discussing it first.
Yes. I mean, maybe they didn't want the dog back to begin with.
Yeah, that is what the fuck. That is really what's up with that situation. But like one of the first comments in here is a glow in the dark. So they must have said something real as fuck right quick, and it got the attention of this place. One time, I was babysitting a kid for about 2 weeks. When the parents were supposed to pick him up, they vanished and blocked me on all forms of communication. Finally, 10 days after the pickup day, I called CPS and the kid was taken away. My friend reached out a few days later and blew up at me. Does this help? Not the asshole. Fair enough. Fair enough. Don't think you had to be such a, a Weisenhammer, but I'll allow for it. Here's another glow in the dark one. I get that this is an analogy for OP's story, but a version of this is literally my life. My sister dropped her 18-month off of me to babysit when I was 19 and going to college / working full time. She then went off to live her life and pretty much forgot she had a kid. I dropped out of school to raise my niece. When I enrolled my niece in kindergarten, CPS got involved and I ended up adopting her. I raised her as my own and was shocked when my sister popped up and decided she wanted her back. Like she was a pair of boots and she loaned me. When my niece was in her teens, my sister told everyone that I stole her child and acted like she was the victim. For 30 years, and my sister still acts like she was the wrong party. My girl heartily disagrees, but she's a well-adjusted, happy, healthy human being and a good mom of her own self. So I am grateful. Not at all implying you should keep crazy hound, but I do empathize with the level of entitlement of some people. Okay. So I don't know if that deserved to be a pink box. I mean, I guess people supported her for being a good mom. Good job. Good aunt, moms. I don't know, whatever you want to call that situation.
A smut. A smunt.
A smunt. Smunt. Oh my gosh. Last up. Am I the asshole for taking our son trick-or-treating without my wife? My 29 male, wife 30 female. Somebody's a cradle robber. And I have a 4-year-old son. As Halloween approached this year, my son let me know that he wanted to dress up as characters from his favorite show at the moment. These aren't costumes that are readily available to buy, so I was going to have to do some crafting magic and make them. I'm a stay-at-home father. My wife is something of a workaholic. She could cut down her hours if she wished. But she's always been a very work-driven, focused person. She's not very maternal. Because of this, my son has never been very attached to her. They have time together at dinner, but even during times when my wife is off to work, like during bath and bedtime, it's always just me. This isn't me complaining. I signed on for stay-at-home dad life, and I enjoy every minute of it. I just wish, for his sake, that she would be a bit more involved. About a month before Halloween, my son asked if my best friend, 35 male, could dress up with us. He had already assigned himself and me specific characters, and I had started to work on the costumes, so I figured it wouldn't be a big deal to add one more. He adores best friend. They have such a sweet bond, and have since my son was born. I asked best friend if he wanted to join us for trick-or-treating, and he immediately agreed. During dinner the night following this, I asked him what character he wanted his mom to be. My son said he only wanted to go trick-or-treating with daddy and best friend. Over the course of the next month, I would casually bring it up again to my son, and he continually gave me the same answer. My wife was clearly hurt, but would always brush it off. Fast forward to Halloween night. I had spent weeks working on these little costumes for all of us. As we were getting ready, my wife and I get into a big argument over the fact that she didn't have a costume. I pointed out that if she had wanted me to make her one, she could have requested I do so, or she could have gotten one for herself. She said it was ridiculous and that the three of us were doing a matching theme and leaving her out. And she wasn't even going. In the end, best friend and I took him trick-or-treating alone, and my wife still isn't speaking to me because she can't believe I actually went without her. Am I the asshole? There are some edits. ETA. To clarify, I do not let my son call the shots or allow him to make decisions that would harm him. absolutely will step in when he could possibly get hurt. This was not one of those times. I practice gentle parenting as much as possible, and in my mind, it wouldn't have been beneficial to my mom and son, to mom and son's bond to force him to choose a costume, include her in the matching outfits when he had expressed multiple times that he didn't want that. I think the bonding needs to happen in situations where my son is not only a willing participant, but an enthusiastic one. At dinner, there are times when he attempts to interact with her, and it seems like she just zones out or doesn't bother engaging with him in a meaningful way. This is where I think their bonding needs to start, from the ground up, not forced via a matching costume that my son has not been receptive to. Another thing I want to address. I've seen many comments saying mom not coming should have never been presented as an option to him. You should have asked him what character mom should be instead, which I did. With that being said, I will fully admit that I should have done more to include her. But on the other hand, I didn't think a lack of costume, we've gone trick-or-treating in the past without costumes, as most adults with children have, would cause her to not go at all. This is why I felt that if she saw it as such a big deal, she could have brought it up herself. Just want to explain further and address some concerns I had seen. Thanks for all the well-meaning, constructive comments.
Man. This is Anthony Rue 2.0.
We got a new one.
If you could do that much fucking explaining on Reddit, you need to go fucking talk to your wife. Damn. This dude seems like such an asshole. Like, so much of an asshole. Like, it's certain things that, especially with the kids, because let's be honest, kids favor certain parents. I don't give a fuck what I do for my youngest son. He ain't gonna never like me that much. He just won't. That's my homeboy. We cool, but he like his mom better, and that's how it's gonna be. But neither one of us like go out of our way to embrace that. You can't do that. Like, it's cool to have a friend to go trick-or-treating with and shit, but like, this dude just seemed like he's going out of his way to be like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home dad. The whole thing was like, when he's saying he doesn't feel like she's engaging with him, he just feels like he just thrown her under the bus like so fucking hard. Like, this dude just seems so underhanded. Like, man, so divorce this dude. I hope she sees this and leaves you and takes the kid.
Box?
I don't know, man. Women be shopping. Like, I guess, yeah. You know, could have done a better job. I've never been in this position, obviously. So it's like, for me, it's just kind of like, is this that big of a deal? But I guess, yeah, you know, if you want to be included with everything, it is kind of a big deal.
I used to go with, I actually talked about it with his wife this week because it's the first time in years that I have not gone. I used to go over Gabriel's house, and like when it was just my kids before he had kids, he and I would go take my kids trick or treating. Their mom would stay back with Sadie with his wife, and me and the guys would go. Besties out there on the stroll taking kids trick or treating, and as my kids got older, it was like I'm about to trick or treat with my homies over here. I would still go over there and go with Gabe with his kids to go trick or treat. It was just a fun thing. It was just something we did. And like I said, his wife would hold it down at the house, and she would often try to make chili or something, you know what I'm saying, and have people would come through and eat and whatever. And then last year before they moved, one last time we went one last bang out on the stroll, and it's nice, man. I missed it this year. I truly did. I was like, yeah, it's weird to not have that. but we never dressed up in costumes. Gabriel and his family, they were regularly in costumes. I am not a costume man. Y'all know that. That's not how your boy rolls. But we got some pink glow in the dark comments. Let's see what they say. This is Lizzie Bell 2019, an asshole enthusiast. I have to go with you're the asshole. I'm halfway waiting for the update where you turn the guest room into a art studio for your best friend without discussing it with your wife. I knew Reddit was going to go in on that best friend situation. And I'm going to add some stuff to keep from answering the same questions. My answer is mainly based on the fact that I feel like the OP is trolling us. It would possibly change to everyone sucks here, leaning toward the OP being more of an asshole for not teaching his son that excluding his mother is not something that we are going to allow. Makes me wonder how often she's had to deal with this. As far as men being besties, I don't care if best friend was a woman, if OP was a woman with a man bestie, if it were two women, if they were all purple aliens. Don't like when people go that route. Whenever they end up with purple, because always purple seems to be the color that says I don't see color with, I don't care. My answer would still be that putting the bestie so far into a relationship that they are preferred over the other parent is bad for a marriage. The fact that OP kept asking a child if it's okay for mom to come along blows my mind. That seems to be their parenting structure. I don't know it. I certainly probably wouldn't roll with it myself, but that's just how they seem to be raising that child. So on that note, I will have to disagree with the Lizzie Bell 2019. Anyway, here, we'll scroll down. There's another pink comment. I mean, when a mother is so absent without the need to be and chooses to be, a child will bond with those willing and choosing to be there in the child's life. A kid doesn't see platonic, romantic, etc., etc. They see who shows up. The wife doesn't. So yeah, it's totally possible this kid has bonded with the best friend. What do people expect? For a parent to stay solely at home, only to be friends with people that have kids? The truth is, you lose people when you have a kid. And the people that stick around are the ones worth keeping. Unless they show romantic interest, kick them to the curb. This is a solid case of mom not putting her best foot forward, and no parent is capable of that. We're all learning, but you need to show up or that kid won't recognize you. Okay. Right on to you, buddy.
I understand a percentage of what that person was trying to say, but like the guy who wrote this said, like, he's the stay-at-home dad. The mom works. And just like if it was the reverse, if, the mom, because moms usually make costumes, moms usually sometimes stay at home. Like, being supportive on the other end is needed too. Like saying like, hey, mommy's, sometimes tired at dinner. Maybe that's why she's not conversating with you. Hey, mommy works hard too. Sometimes we gotta, you have to be able to talk to your kids, and not on a level where it's like you talking down to them. Like when things are harder, you have to be able to communicate those things more. And mom working and being the breadwinner is something that's a big thing. Like if mom's always working and absent, then you need to explain that in a way that makes them understand at every level. And it's going to be a constant thing and not just something you bring up once or twice a week. It's going to be like, hey, you know what, buddy? Let's do this for mommy because guess what? She's working. Let's pack the lunch for mommy together. Let's do this because mommy's working, Yeah. So you can't do that. I'm a cat.
One more glow in the dark comment came from the art studio comment. Why did OP ask the kid if he wanted mommy to come? He's 4. You just tell him mommy's coming, so she needs a costume. If he says he doesn't want mommy to come and there's no real reason beyond mommy works a lot and is tired after work, but maybe that's something we can work on, tell him that isn't very nice and you guys should try to include his mom. Sing some Daniel Tiger about sharing is caring and grown-ups come back and tell him his mommy loves him very much. It sounds like dad didn't want mom to come. You're the asshole, OP.
He wanted artist to himself.
All right, one more pink comment and I'll wrap it up. It would be great if wife was more involved with your son. It would have been nice if she had expressed a definitive interest to participate in participating, so you would have had a costume ready for her. When you were planning it, perhaps it would have been a good parenting to remind your son that being left out of fun can hurt people's feelings, and there is no reason to exclude mom. You mentioned that it would be nice if she were more involved with your son. Maybe she needs a little help feeling wanted since you and your son already have figured out your style of interaction, and hers might be a little different, but she doesn't know what it is yet. Maybe doing things together with her, but being careful to make sure she doesn't feel like a third wheel would be a start. If part of the problem is her not knowing how to connect with him, I just worry that there is a disconnect because she is gone for too many hours, and then the lack of connection makes her work more to cover and hide being hurt. And what might otherwise have been fixed remains forever broken. Of course, I could totally be misreading the situation. I want you to know something. And I don't mean to be sounding misogynistic or old school, but if this was reversed in any way, shape, or form, all you would be hearing about is fuck that dude. You would. The fact that it's a mom gives people a level of sensitivity that they wouldn't otherwise have if it were a dad. And I say that from the perspective of a father. People consistently gave me, not necessarily gave me shit, but always spoke to me like I was like, oh man, how are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? Without your kid's mom and so forth and so on after she passed. And I'm always have to look at them side. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm like a parent. What do you mean? How am I doing what I do? I do it because I'm a parent. I'm supposed to. To this day, people be like, man, you know, you're real special, man. I can't believe you've done this and that and third. And I'm like, I guess, but all I did was simply keep on living and parenting my children. Not a lot of effort there. Not a lot of requirement there. Just doing my job. Doing the task that is assigned to me. And I have never liked that people seem to always approach me on that shit and come at me with that line of thought and that line of reasoning. So like I said, if this was reversed and this is a mom whose husband worked too hard and didn't have a real tight connection with their dad, these people would not be immediately leaping to this man must be fucking his best friend, because that's what a lot of these comments are. Because of course Reddit rolls that way.
Yeah, that is weird, because that last one that you read before this, they were really grinding on that gear. They were really sharpening that knife on that, like, bring that back and forth. Like, you're going to put them in your apartment next? That was weak.
Yeah. So, yeah, bro, you should just, what I will tell you is you should have just made your wife a costume. Didn't even have to be the costume in the theme. Who fucking cares? Just make her a costume. Be like, I made you a costume because you come and trick or treat with us. Put it down on paper. And yeah, tell this, and same thing to your son. Hey, mommy's coming with us. I'm going to hook her up with something. Don't worry about it. She won't be in theme with us, but she is definitely going to be in a costume. I'm going to hook it up. And mommy's coming through. And that's what's up. If anything, you got some parenting work to do. I don't know if that really makes you an asshole. That's a little far reaching in this particular development. But it does mean you got some work to do, buddy. And we'll leave that at that. I actually wrote down my entertainment this week because it was far and wide ranging, only not because it's basically almost all sci-fi. Of course, I watched the Great British Bake Off because we make a show about it. This episode is already out this week. It is, what the hell was this week? Custard Week. The Custard Week episode is out and available for you to listen to right now on podcast services. You should go do that. Give that a listen. Because it's dope. We make a real good show. I started watching Doctor Who again. Turns out I was 2 seasons behind on Doctor Who. No, turns out I was a 1 full season and like 2 episodes and a special behind on Doctor Who, and I had to get that dialed back in because I fuck with Doctor Who. And then it turns out there was a recent Doctor Who special that came out of the blue, and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm not caught up on Doctor Who. So I started watching Doctor Who again. Love it. Caught up current on Andor. Andor is so good. It is some of the best Star Wars-based storytelling that has existed in a very, very long time. You should be watching Andor. Today, I just watched the season finale of Star Trek Lower Decks. That show is better than it has any right to be. You think it would just be like some, just a silly cartoon. But I gotta tell you, bro, it is damn fun and fits well in the Trek canon. And so you might want to get down with some Star Trek lower decks if you are a Trekker at all. And also, I am caught up on Abbott Elementary, and man, that show is so funny. I actually tweeted about the line made me laugh so hard. Let's see if I can grab it right quick. It was a Janelle James burner because her character Ava is such a funny character.
It was a lot of a couple weeks ago. She like, I thought you were spicy white. I just thought, I was like, man.
She said, Gordon, she goes, I'm in my office. I was watching the show Gorders, that show about pumpkin hoarders, and it smooth took me out. It just made me laugh so hard. Gorders, the show about pumpkin hoarders, was too good a damn joke. And I know not enough people caught that little motherfucker. I want you to know, man, on this week's Abbott. What was that? Your dryer done?
I'm not doing anything. Well, maybe someone's doing something up in the kitchen, but I'm not doing anything.
Oh, there's some beeping in the background. I thought somebody's machine was finished. But
man, I almost sung a R. Kelly
song. But did I play anything? I messed around with Escape Room Academy, which is on Game Pass. And I literally just got it started, so I'm nowhere in it enough to give you any kind of shake and bake on that. But I'm very excited for God of War, which comes out next week. Once it got them reviews today, and I was like, "Well, bitch, that's too many 10s for me to avoid." So I love God of War 2018. So it's not like I come at it from a fucked up perspective. More of that on a more powerful system, yes, please. So I'm excited for that one. Hopefully, I will cop that. Ant, what about you, babe?
Still playing Streets of Rage. I almost sent you a message earlier. Like, this is the first game in a long time that I played. I beat it on easy, and I've been playing on normal. And I was stuck on this board for like months. And I beat it the other day, and then I beat like the one afterwards. So I've been playing Streets of Rage. Like the survival mode changes every 6 days, so I've been playing that constantly. Sometimes I play with the boys. I bought Gotham Knights, but I haven't played it yet.
What made you buy that game?
Because it reminded me of the old Batman games on PS3 I used to play.
Yeah, it reviewed so poorly that I was just like, oh, I will not buy the. Plus, it's not made by the same studio. It's made by Warner Brothers of Montreal, whatever the fuck that studio is called. So it's like, I'm like, oh, so you're not Rocksteady. I'm not fucking with you. I already know it. So I was like, wait, that's why I'm not bothered with it. And so I was like, what the hell made you buy that shit? But I hear you. Well, I'll pick it up, put it down.
Yeah, it did get bad reviews, but I've seen like a couple people, like internet people that I follow, was like, if you play it like this, it's a good game. And I was like, okay.
That's what's up there. What else?
So like I was just talking about before, I've watched the latest episode of Atlanta captured my heart so much. It was called The Goof That Sat by the Door. I don't want to spoil it because I really, 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 really want Lunch to watch it. It was such a great episode. You can catch it on Hulu, Lunch. I hope you watch it soon so we can talk about it.
Did you watch? How much of It Takes a Thief did you watch?
I watched a couple episodes, but I had to stop watching it because it wasn't making me pissed off, but it was kind of like not making me anxious, but I was like, man, because first it's a reality TV show about like a thief, and what's the other guy?
They're both former thieves.
Okay, they're both former thieves, and they first break. The first one I watched, it was like a group of pretty much like frat guys that had a house together, and like they had some of the craziest shit in the house I've ever seen. Like this dude had a Picasso in his closet, like a Picasso.
I now fully remember this show. That's funny. All of a sudden, it just snapped back to They were like, basically they go in and redo houses and basically like, if I broke in your house and stole your shit, this is what I would have been doing, and blah blah blah, right? Yeah, and then they like, and this is how we'll put an alarm on your window and cameras up your ass.
Cameras up your ass.
Yeah, I remember this shit.
That ass. But it was just crazy. It's like the kind of stuff these people had in their house was kind of like that was what kind of turned me off, but like made me like, where it's like, look, this dude had silver. Like, now this one is worth 800, but this one is worth 16. And then this dude had like the most ancient, sweet looking gun I've ever seen in my life. It was like in the special case, just in a closet under blankets. And it was like this pretty wood grain and then like this buffed nickel. And it was like, that gun is irreplaceable. And this guy had like a sketch of John F. Kennedy that his dad had, like hanging up in the kitchen, and like they broke it like during the robbery, like, and they did all the robberies and shit within 10 minutes. It was so fascinating. I was just like, he was like, "Oh, what's in here? Oh, that's just cash and jewelry. You know, nobody's gonna get in here." And then like, what? Was it a limit date? Where they sit in the back and watch their partner go on a date? It
was like Cheaters.
Yeah, Cheaters.
Yeah.
Like it felt like Cheaters is like they all getting mad. Like, I can't believe this bitch is out with another dude.
See, like obviously, like they probably play it up to a degree for the cameras with the items and stuff. But I still found the concept to be fascinating back then.
It is. Like, when I see like all those Ring camera videos on Instagram where it's like random people just walking up to your door knocking, I'm like, where the fuck do you live at? Where people just be like trying to do schemes like that. Like, my car's broke down the street. I'm like,
I saw one the other day of a kid with the whole, take a piece of candy thing. He took his backpack and he dumped the whole fucking bucket into his backpack, and then he flipped off the Ring camera.
Yeah.
Whereas I saw one where these children came up, took all the candy, and another kid walked up, saw that they had took all the candy, took candy out of his bag, and put candy in the bowl.
I seen that too.
I was like, right on, man. Entertainment. Boxman, what about you, baby?
Football, basketball, Gremlins too.
Yeah, basketball in this case only the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's a lie, because I watched a good chunk of that damn. Well, anyway, most of the Cleveland Cavaliers and whoever ends up playing after them, depending on what station has the game popping. And Cavaliers currently 6-1. We're number 2 in the Eastern Conference, behind only the 7-0 Milwaukee Bucks.
Did you see that the NBA isn't having any games on Election Day because they want people to go out and vote?
No, but I if you like it, nigga, I love it. So that's what's up with me. I do see the Warriors lost to the damn Magic. So what is going on with the Warriors right now?
They were losing when we were recording, but I didn't see the final score.
130, 129.
Man, seems like since I blessed the Warriors as my NBA championship pick at the beginning of the season, they have gone into the shitter. Warms my heart.
It's strange. Also, that just means they're not playing defense at all. Somebody threw up 130 on them.
Oh yeah, I think they have like the worst defense in the league ranking right now. It's like we talked about last week, man. They ain't what they used to be. Like I thought that they were just going to keep chugging along, but like their young guys aren't playing as well, and their veterans are getting older.
Yeah. Well, Wow, they are 0-5 at away games currently, so that also will probably do it to you on it. Sheesh. Yeah, like I said, I wish you well because, like I said, I know that they'll get their shit together. Steve Kerr's too good a coach.
I hope they don't.
I truly don't care either way.
I know you. I know you don't.
Team.
I'm just saying for me, like I'm on my petty. Like obviously, I said they were going to win, but it's not because I wanted them to. I just thought that they were the best team at the time. But they lose every game. I'll be ecstatic.
No, it definitely does currently, and I realize it's a very early in the season. It does seem like Milwaukee's like, oh, we taking this motherfucker. I'm like, okay, Milwaukee, settle down, Giannis. I know, man, I know.
Giannis is so like physically imposing, but he's also like young and happy sounding. Like he's like, it feels like he's got good energy. That like it just feels like they could just do whatever the fuck they want.
He reminds me, and I know this just is, I shouldn't be comparing fictional characters to real people, but he reminds me of Sam Obasanjo from Ted Lasso when he'll get to a presser afterwards, just be like, "Hey guys, you know what I'm saying? What's going on?" Because Giannis just be so chill, talking like, "Oh man, I had Oreos for the first time, and bro, my." So that's what I enjoy about Giannis, man. He chill vibes, man, and I always respect that. So. Oh my gosh! Word up to Giannis, Antetokounmpo for forcing me to learn a Greek and a Nigerian name combination of epic proportion there. So, yeah, there you go, people. That is an episode. You know what it is. Please rate, review, subscribe to the show wherever possible. Subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us over on Twitter. If you want to support the show, we have a Patreon that we put up stuff there. I just put up an episode today. It was a little short one. Gabriel and his oldest son reviewed Orange Cream Pop Twizzlers for patrons at all level. I gave that to everybody because it was kind of short, so I figured everybody should be able to get on that action. So that's what happens sometimes over there. At any level of the Patreon, $1, $5, or $10. There's something for you over that way. We also have merch available over at tpublic.com/user/stage crunchy milk, all one word. I was working with the person who made our Pride logo, the good version. I mean, there's all fine, but the version of our Pride logo that now pretty much graces all of our internet presence because it just turned out so well. And I sent them a message and like, hey, I like this, and this. And the price that this woman quoted me made me say, I won't be working with her on this particular project. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all. This is a designer on Fiverr, like I said, who I've worked with before, and I
got them 2024 prices.
It really is. Option 1, $445. Option 2, $1,190. Option 3, $1,890. And didn't spell Michelle's name right in the quote they prepared for us. It's Crunchy with a goddamn K, and you've made a logo for us before. You should know that. It's the name on my on this Fiverr account. Everything has a K, and I was just like, well, this tells me everything I need to know about the situation. I should probably write them back and say that's a little too rich for my blood, as opposed to just leaving them dangling. But then they just tried to charge you $2,000 for a job, and I'm just like, no. The site is called Fiverr. Okay, I'm not saying I'm trying to pay $5, but I'm certainly not trying to pay $1,800. I'm just simply not. So
inflation's hitting everybody.
I guess so.
It's hard everywhere, baby.
Feel free to give us a call. 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We would certainly love to hear from you. Our missing man is, of course, the real ODP. Send him some love. That is Tatum216.
Yes.
I am nobody because I'm not the person who goes up next. That is Lunchbox2099.
Yeah, you got there.
I'm sleepy.
I am too. I want to go to bed so badly.
We have a show called Crimp and TCA. It's a Great British Bake Off podcast. We do it every week. It comes out on Wednesdays, Tuesday night if I'm feeling froggy, but mostly Wednesday morning. It's really good, y'all, and we are nearing quarterfinals this week. So you might want to start getting down with the Get Down because this is where it gets real good. Give it a listen. I am the Entertainer 713. You've just been podcasting, and I know you loved it. We'll catch you next time.
It was
Peace.
JoJo, not
Dad,
Taylor.
what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.